Welcome to another installment of Egg Foo What? The first and only podcast about people eating stuff. I'm Mike Lisk.
I'm Greg Wilson. Welcome to another episode of Egg Foo. What? I notice on yours you're doing a little mystery. Egg Foo. What?
Yeah, I'm working with the tone. I'm trying to find the right tone.
I don't know if that was it.
No, I don't think it was. I think I
tone-
need some more practice.
is the tone I'm lost?
It's
Egg
supposed to
Foo.
be more of a
What?
query, like the
Whoa,
everyman,
whoa, 2022. We don't get into that, Mike. Come on now.
the everyman walking down the street. Egg Foo What?
Mhm.
You know,
All right.
he's curious. He's not dismissive.
All
He's
right.
curious. What is this thing? Egg
What
Foo
did-
What?
What did
That
Ted
you speak
Lasso
of.
say? Don't judge, ask questions.
Yeah,
Something like that.
something like that.
Something like that. Seems like if you the more questions you ask, the more you can judge.
Hmm.
I would think, like legitimately.
Yeah.
Like, why else would you be asking questions? And what else gives you better judgment than asking questions? So I'm gonna have to take Ted Lasso up on that one. So did I just single-handedly dismantle a American treasure of a show? Maybe, I don't know. But let's talk about pepper steak.
Pepper steak and onions. This is I consider this a rebound from last week's debacle of chow mein,
Yeah.
which we both rated 0. Our first 00. And so for
The
me,
only reason I gave it a 00 is because I could not give it a 000. Burn.
yeah,
You say the word rebound in this case is right, young Michael, in that coming off last week's debacle of a trash fire, of a steaming turd, I'll call it a food dish, but you can't hope to go too far in the other direction. You hope to just land on something that you could just get through to get back in the horse, to get back in the game. You don't need to hit a grand slam, just get back up to the plate. Which this pepper steak and onions, whatever, the snakes on a plane of dishes. It just tells you what it is. It's been zero effort trying to name it. Chow mein is food out of Satan's ass, but it is a great name.
yeah.
Chow mein is Cox. I mean, I would love it if that became my nickname. What up, Chow mein? How you doing, buddy? Chow mein. I guess that doesn't work because I sound horrendously racist when I say that, but this named perfectly. It is what it is. Perfectly fine. I'll never ever think of it again. If I showed up at your house and you were like, "Here's some pepper steak," and I'd eat it. I'd be fine. This is in that category of perfectly fine. It did not disgust me, and I will forget about it forever. Sounds like I'm reading my ex-girlfriend's
It's about
diary.
half the dishes we've tried so far, I think, for you.
Yeah, but I don't want to put it in that category of chow mein, in which I'd rather just set it on fire than even try it. This is just fair to nebulous. It's fine.
Now, the way you've rated things,
Brilliantly. Yes.
Egg Foo Young at the top,
Yes.
everything else
Right now, I give
middling.
it a 9.4 because I thought it'd be nice. Get the fuck. I should 10. I don't know. That is gnawed at me for months now. But we'll see.
I mean, I consider it your 10, whether you said it was a 10 or not. I mean,
It is
because
my
in
Bo
comparison,
It is my Bo Derek of Chinese dishes.
in comparison to everything that's followed, it's either been as this was fine. I could eat it. I'll never think of it again. Or as you called the earlier dish, something from Satan's ass.
Correct.
So yeah, it's wide ranging, but mostly middling or horrible.
Or horrible.
And but I guess middling. I mean, I'm happy because
because nobody does horrible like the Chinese when it comes to their food or the food I've been getting.
Well, I can't say I'm like an internationalist when it comes to eating food from around the world. I mean, I like Chinese food, so I'm sure there are other places that have more horrible food.
That's a nice thought.
that I've never experienced.
That's a Hallmark card waiting to be written. Sure,
But
this food may be shitty, but try this one.
I give pepper steak a slight edge over the average 5. I'll give it a 6. You know, it's a
Yeah.
hearty meal.
Mm.
I would even say that you can make a decent sandwich out of it. Just open up a hoagie, throw it in there, and it would probably be pretty satisfying.
Maybe put some cheese on it.
Oh, that
Is
yeah.
that something where we can come up
Well,
with that?
yeah. The cheese is a whole other dish.
The somebody else has already perfected the cheesesteak.
Yeah, the cheesesteak.
It's called Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Next time you see Old Glory go up that flagpole, you say thank you, Philadelphia, for the cheesesteak. This is not a cheesesteak. I'm not throwing this. You are not taking this and throwing it on a hoagie. Come on.
Let me ask this about the cheesesteak. I mean, we love it when we're in Philly. It's a go-to.
Mhm.
But I mean, do you eat cheesesteak when you're not in Philly?
Yes.
You do? Yeah, you make a cheesesteak sandwich for yourself regularly?
I can't. Who makes a cheesesteak regularly for
Well,
themselves?
that's what I'm saying. I mean, you know, it's
Nobody
great
makes.
when you go to Philly, but do you love
Uh,
it? Do you love a cheesesteak sandwich that much that you make
yes.
it at home?
I've never made one at home, but I don't cook at home generally. So
Okay.
I don't think cheesesteaks are something unless they're steakums and you have a little nostalgia thing going.
That's what I was gonna you could probably do it with steakums, yeah.
Yeah.
Throw a couple steakums on the frying pan, throw in some peppers and onions, throw the
Mhm.
cheese on at the end. I mean, you know, it's fairly easy to do, but
Yeah,
I,
I've
you
done
know,
that, but I don't know if anybody equates that like I don't think you fire up the grill like you would burgers and dogs. Oh, come on over to Big Mike's. I got burgers and dogs. I don't think anybody is like, come on over. Mike's making cheesesteaks. I
well,
don't
I
think
mean,
that
people more
happens.
proficient at cooking, you know, may throw themselves into it. I guess me and you are not real cooks. I mean,
Oh, number
I
one, yeah.
I do
But
stuff on the barbecue and I do pastas, simple things, and that's about it. I'm heating stuff up more than I'm actually cooking.
other than a steak, I don't know if I've ever even known anybody who's like even tried to do a quote unquote real cheesesteak, unless it's like an event like, hey, let's come over to my house. We'll try to make a cheesesteak for a laugh. It's nobody
Turn
like,
turn it into a party, yeah.
well, yeah, nobody's like, ah, fuck, I'm running late. I got to slap something together. Let me make an authentic Philadelphia cheesesteak. I don't think that happens. I've had a million cheesesteaks outside of Philly.
Mhm.
Uh, I mean, they're all fine, but I wouldn't think of traveling to them like I would Pat's, the King of Steaks.
Uh-huh.
I pointed to the sky, oh Heavenly Father, when I said that. So even though I don't know if Pat's dead or alive, I don't know, But
Yeah, I
now,
mean, you know, I actually went there a couple years ago. I was in Philly for a Best Show event, and
mhm,
we went to Pat's, I believe, after the show, and it was
the
good.
event
You know,
going to Pat's,
it was a very satisfying cheesesteak.
the best.
And but you know, I mean, it's been a long time since I made steakum. I mean, I went through a period where I would try to make steakum type stuff, you know, but that stuff is garbage, right? I mean, we
Well,
can all agree.
what's Steakum like stuff? I
Is
think
the
Steakum is Steakum.
is
There's
steakum
nothing
still
like
out there on the
Steakum.
market?
There's nothing. I don't know if there's anything that could be called Steakum like stuff that's not literally Steakum.
But is it like 100% beef,
A
or
hundred
is
percent
it like
beef.
spam?
I
Is it
don't
the
know if
spam?
it's any percent beef.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Is it the
I love
spam
Steakum.
of beef?
I doubt it. I love Steakums, and there's no way I would bet a nickel that they're actual steak.
When's the last time you had steakum?
If you said I've had some within 10 years, I'd probably be not shocked, but surprised. I'd put that as the initial. I don't know. I'd be surprised if it's longer than 10 years, but not shocked.
Uh-huh.
What about yourself?
No, I can't remember the last time I had steakums.
Sounds like there was a
I was a young man.
Miles,
Let's put
Miles
it
Harris
that
had
way.
blue period, and you had your Steakums period. Apparently, I think that's
You
what we.
know, I think
I love
maybe,
Steakums. So
yeah.
I don't compare them to I don't compare them to a real cheesesteak.
No.
But yeah, I've had a million good cheesesteaks.
Yeah.
Sorry to
No,
disappoint.
it's something you can't really make at home to the same degree that you can get in Philly. So I think we're agreed there.
Mm.
Now there were some other food related matters I saw in your social media feeds this week.
Oh,
Yeah, I saw you had posted a photo of a Burger Chef T-shirt.
yes.
Burger Chef,
Did
and
you did you have
that
Burger
is
Chef when you were a kid up here?
yeah. Believe it or not, there was a Burger Chef within a couple miles. That was our go-to
Yeah,
before Burger King and McDonald's hit our town.
yeah,
We had a Burger Chef,
yep,
and it was pretty good.
yeah. It was the first, they invented the Happy Meal.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I guess you had one nearby as a youngster, or
We had one in I think it was in Mechanicsville, Richmond, which was like a 40-minute ride from my house. When I
40
was
minutes.
yeah, 40,
So
45.
like you would make the trek to go to this
Well, where I
burger.
lived, you had to go 40 minutes to get anything.
Okay. All right.
So
All right, I gotta bring it down. I'm in New Jersey
yeah,
where
it's
everything's
all
on
right.
top of each other.
It's not the metropolis that is Bayonne. We understand. But yeah, so if you wanted a pair of socks, you'd have to go to Richmond. And yeah, I feel like for some reason,
If you wanted a pair of socks,
see,
you
yeah,
had to
be
go to
back in a couple
Richmond.
hours. See ya.
That's a good line.
That's that T-shirt.
Uh-huh.
Buy socks, go to Richmond. Egg
Uh-huh.
foo. Egg foo. What?
Uh-huh.
And I'm sure if I researched that the reason the Burger Chef was their go-to was probably was perfectly aligned with wherever my parents were taking us in church. I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
And
It was along the route.
it was along the route, and I'm sure I was as a young buck, I loved the Happy Meal stuff, and then they just disappeared.
Yeah.
I don't know if they got bought or
I think they just went under. I think once McDonald's, I mean, for me, yeah, I was in Howell,
yeah.
and it was a couple miles away on Route 9.
This
The
would be
main
late 70s.
Yeah, the
early
70s.
80s at the latest.
Definitely 70s. I think it was gone by the 80s, I believe.
Yeah.
But it was the first burger joint that, we went to as kids. I'm trying to remember, did they even have a particular sandwich? Like, did they have a
I remember. I only remember because obviously I'm sure you're the same. Only there as a kid, I only remember the thrill of them having the Happy Meals, which I'm sure was just a regular burger and fries. I don't remember a signature sandwich, but I was, being a kid, I wouldn't have thought to get it anyway. I knew these things cost money, and I didn't want to put any undue burden on my parents, so I got the little kids meal.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't remember the Happy Meal. I think we just bought cheeseburgers, double cheeseburgers, whatever it was. Yeah, there were no I don't think they had fancy names,
No, but I think they did invent the Happy Meal. So
the Happy Meal. Okay.
so now, great. Now we're gonna have McDonald's coming after us. Great. China, China, Derek Jeter, whoever invented chow mein, and now Burger Chef are gonna come after us. That sponsor money is really gonna come in handy to protect us.
I also
Yeah.
I also saw another food related item
Yep.
on your list. You've been doing on Twitter favorite things.
Yes.
Greg's favorite things. It's been an ongoing list.
Every day I add one thing I like.
And you had something up there.
In this world of social media, you have to try to be positive. That's all.
Yeah. So you had something caught my eye: Doritos and peanut butter.
Yes.
Now, are you saying you like them separately, or you would put peanut butter on Doritos?
Well, I do. I'll do Doritos on. I'm sorry, peanut butter on the Dorito if I can get a Dorito that's sturdy enough. Because I like chunky peanut butter, so I'm not going to get the creamy peanut butter because I love freedom. And sometimes it can be a little tricky, but also when I say Doritos and peanut butter, what I mean is I haven't done it in a while, but I used to love it, and I do love it now as I'm thinking about it. A Doritos and peanut butter sandwich on
Oh my God.
on Jewish rye bread.
Wow.
So,
No, man.
I don't think that's crazy. I mean,
Yeah, I think it
I love
is.
peanut butter. I love
I think you're
Doritos.
out there with this one. I mean, you've
Oh,
never seen another human being do this, have you?
well, no, but it's not like, great whites mating in nature. I'm sure it has been witnessed by humans.
I mean,
I don't think it's
your siblings weren't doing this with you, were they?
no.
No. This is something you went on completely on your own. When did you discover this was a favorite thing of yours?
I
How
do
old were you?
remember. I think I remember falling in love with it. This is going to be a bit of a Jane Eyre thing here. Uh, Living in Mississippi at the same time, I realized I like um, making ravioli sandwiches. But I don't think I promise you, if we had more than 4 people listening to this, that somebody has mixed Doritos and peanut butter together. They're just too good. They're too ubiquitous. Everybody loves peanut butter. Everybody loves Doritos. I don't think it's that weird.
It almost sounds like, was this a Seinfeld episode? George Costanza, like bringing two things he loves together, like eating and sex,
Oh,
right?
it was eating. Wasn't there? I guess sleeping, sex, and eating. Is that what it?
I thought it was just eating and sex. I thought it was
Well,
just
that your argument would make sense if what I was bringing together weren't just two foods. I'm
no,
not
but
bringing together
it's two things
Doritos and an activity.
it's two things he loved. So you're bringing together two. I love
But the
those
two things I
two.
love are still foods.
I love Doritos and I love
Right.
the peanut butter, but I would never think to bring them together.
Right. It's okay. I understand it not occurring to somebody, but once it has occurred to them, I don't think it's that weird. Did you try the peanut butter and Doritos?
I'm not going to try. The tastes are just too all over the map. I can't even imagine it.
You sound distressed.
I was distressed when
Wow.
I saw it.
You weren't
I was
distressed
distressed when
about
I
the
saw it.
chow
I'm
mein
like,
last
what?
week.
He puts peanut butter on Doritos? It just seems like such.
I got to be honest. Of all the things I've had on my things I like list, I would not thought that was the strangest.
Really? Okay. I
I
mean, I guess the
I
strangest thing I've had, and I've heard gotten weird reactions. We really loved uh my mother, I guess it goes back through my mother's family, was peanut butter and bacon sandwiches.
okay. Is that Elvis? Is that the
Well,
Elvis?
he had a variation. He would
Honey,
add bananas,
bananas and honey. Yeah.
which to me that's unnecessary. Just have a peanut butter and bacon sandwich. I mean,
No,
everybody loves those two things, right?
well,
So
now,
those two came together.
well, normally I'd say yes, but you picked the one complicated, tricky part of it for me. I love bacon, but I'm not a big fan of combining bacon with other foods because bacon just overwhelms everything else. So I love bacon and I love peanut butter. I would not combine the two, but I would not say that I think it's crazy.
Okay. So BLT is just out of the question for you.
BLT is okay. Actually, yeah, I don't mind a BLT, but like, I don't like a burger. I don't care for bacon on a burger.
Uh-huh.
All you taste is bacon. The burger's already amazing. Just have the bacon on the side.
Yeah, I see your point.
Yeah, it's like sometimes people, I understand it. I love bacon too, but sometimes people want to go overboard and throw
Uh-huh.
bacon and everything, bacon bits and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, come on.
So you're saying
Rarely am I the voice of moderation, but
so
right?
you're saying cool it on the bacon, people.
Yeah, I think the one thing in this world I've ever had a real adult moment of, hey, moderation is okay. Is bacon for some reason. Yeah, bacon.
Yeah, I think you may be
Bacon is what
there.
it took to bring me to moderation as an adult. Which,
Yeah, you're more inclined to excesses. And now I'm going to segue into a different matter altogether.
oh boy. Ooh.
You've discovered a video.
Yes.
You
Whoa. Speaking of that, whoa.
and this is sort of part of your myth.
This
You
is
know, for
for
me,
the fans.
this is
gonna
one of the
be not us
defining
saying
Greg
it.
Wilson stories. Unfortunately, I wasn't with you at the time. But when I heard this story, I was
I
like,
think you were.
what? You went to see Joe Strummer and the Mescaleros in,
Yeah.
was it Irving Plaza?
Irving Plaza, yeah.
This was, I guess it was 2001, but I guess
Yeah.
it was pre 9/11.
I don't remember
I'm thinking it must have been the summer. How did you feel when you hit the streets of I'm getting ahead of myself. But,
uh,
you went to you went to this show, and for some reason you decided to
well, hold on. Let's back up. Let's back up. I
yeah.
need to. How were you not there? There's no. I've told this story 9,000 times, and I swear, how did I see Joe Strummer in 2001 at Irving Plaza, and you weren't there?
I don't know, there could have been something else going on. I mean, you know what? The thing is, I love Joe Strummer,
Yeah,
but the Mescaleros was not doing it for me. It kind of
you'd
I
still come out and see Joe
I
Strummer.
went a little lukewarm with Joe Strummer with the
Wow.
Mescaleros and even his solo record. Um, I don't know. I think I just needed the chemistry of the Clash
Yeah.
to
Okay.
really,
Oh,
and then
nobody's putting his band that night in the league with the Clash, but
yeah,
he's one of my number one all time guys. I just love him so much. So I went. I would have sworn you went,
yeah.
but
I regret not going after I heard about this show.
yeah, because yeah, part of half your office went, including Andrew. That guy.
Yeah,
Ah, ah, ah,
yeah,
ah, ah,
yeah. I
ah.
think I may have been the only one who didn't go, but I forget what my reason was.
Yeah, so the crazy thing about this whole thing is, so for 20 years now, I've run down people in the street just to make friends with them so I can tell them about the time I saw Joe Strummer and I loved him so much and I was so excited and may have had one or two sherbets down my neck by that point. And so I'm like push myself to the front, I'm sending 3 or 4 people back, whatever, and it's nearing the end of the show and I'm like, I really wanted to connect with my hero. So I'm like, I know I'll take my shirt off and throw it to him because that's what you do. So I took my shirt off and
Okay, like I said, you had a few sherbets by
a
that
couple of
point.
sherbets down my neck. I'm enjoying myself Saturday night or Friday night, whatever. Young man, it's in my 20s. And so I throw my shirt. And in my head, as I tell the story 100 years later, it hit his leg. It brushed his leg. So I'm like,
It made it to the stage.
we have this connection forever. Okay. So I tell this story and he died a year later and yada yada. So as you know, and everybody, I tell this story about meeting Joe, throwing my shirt, Joe Strummer, whatever. And it's crazy. I was just telling this story to a guy at work and he had met Joe Strummer at a record signing. And so I tell him this story and blah, 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 blah. And like 20 minutes later, this video pops up on Facebook. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, Irving Plaza. Like, I wonder if this is, and I'm watching it, and lo and behold, about 39 seconds in, you see a smile come across his face and he starts laughing. Minute 5, a shirt appears on the film being thrown in the air. Doesn't come
Lost
anywhere
about.
near Joe Strummer. I don't think it hit his leg. But how crazy is it that somebody filmed it, and because of the internet is bananas, all these years later, it just randomly pops up, and now I get to see what happened of this
Yeah.
crazy story I've been telling for 20 years.
Uh-huh. No, it's a remarkable clip, and I've retweeted it. I hope people will check it out. But yeah, when I was watching it, I mean, he almost starts laughing to the point where the song was going to break down.
So,
That he,
and you pointed that out to me when you saw it.
yeah,
So 20 years later, I get to sit here and think, did I make Joe Strummer laugh?
yeah, no
Now,
doubt,
granted,
no
it's by
doubt.
looking at my disgusting naked body, but I'll take it.
He is smiling and he's reacting to the point where, like I said, I thought he was going to have to stop singing because it looks like he's about to laugh.
Yeah,
He gets it back together, and
yeah.
then you see the shirt floating above the heads of people, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what? Now let's go. Okay, so now the shirt's off. What point are we in the concert?
Very end, at the end.
Oh, it's at the
I
very
knew
end.
it was the
Okay,
end. Knew it was the end because I mean I think it had been like an hour and a half. And once he started playing Blitzkrieg Bop, I probably knew, okay, he's doing a Ramones cover because it's New York. and that's probably the end. You know, probably the last song or so. And so that's when I made my move for immortality.
And the security did not swarm you when you did this.
They did. I held
They
them off
did?
fiercely with my knuckles. No, all I did was throw a shirt.
Okay. All right.
And as I said, if this footage is correct, the shirt much further away from Joe's leg than I had in my memory. So I don't know if security was that concerned.
Okay. So the shirt is gone.
Shirt's gone.
You do not retrieve the shirt.
No. As far as I
So
know,
now you're a shirtless man in New York City.
Joe did not return my shirt, which I have to say, not cool. Not cool.
Uh-huh.
But
Did you think he was going to put it on? I'm not quite. I'm still not certain what the taking
I
your
thought he was
shirt
gonna
off.
put it on and say, you know what? What am I doing? You're right. We should get the Clouds back together. God damn it. And then we're best friends forever.
Okay.
That didn't happen.
Well, that's a plan anyway.
Well, he died, so that couldn't happen.
I thought it was just a random thing you did, and you didn't really have a plan behind it.
No, I did not have a plan. I thought my shirt will touch Joe Strummer's leg and we'll be connected forever. Little did I know that 20 years later it would be revealed to me that we had more of a connection than I even realized.
So it was almost like Veronica when she touched the hem of Jesus's garment. It was you trying to make a connection through clothing.
Who's Veronica?
Who's Veronica? Don't you read the Bible?
What,
Come
the
on.
Archie
In the
Bible?
Gospels. That's the name of my church too. St. Veronica's.
I've never heard of a Veronica. Now, look,
Check out Veronica.
Nobody
New
knows less about the
Testament.
Bible than me, but I've never heard of Veronica. Is
Yeah,
there a
she's-
crystal? Is
She's
there
a woman who, as Jesus was passing, she touched the hem of his garment, and he felt it, and he turned to address her because he felt somebody touch his garment. Yeah.
I didn't. I've never. Are you worried Veronica is too sexy of a name for such a thing?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, you can look it
What
up.
if a Heather or a
I don't
Crystal-
have chapter and verse numbers for you, but
What if like a Brittany or
Google
a
it.
Heather came up to Jesus at that moment? Maybe he'd be like, yeah, maybe I'll stick around. Chris, Heather or like a stripper name. Veronica's close.
Well, let's get back to Joe Strummer. So now you're a shirtless man in New York City. How did the rest of the evening go?
Well, that actually, to your point a minute ago, I realized when that song ended, the show slammed to a shut, and the show was immediately over. But I'm standing there because I'm like, well, Joe's gonna give me my shirt. We're gonna have something's gonna happen. I'm gonna get my shirt, and so I'm standing there like a dope. And finally, I think security or something's like, hey, buddy, you got to go. Now I turn around. There's how many people fit in Irving Plaza? I don't know.
1,500.
1,500. There's not a soul in there. I'm like, oh,
Now you're not wearing a t-shirt either, right?
No, totally naked.
Yeah. Okay.
Give yourself a minute.
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
And,
summoning the image.
There you go. It's been a sweaty night. Sweaty night.
Joe is very sweaty in that.
Joe's sweaty. And
clip.
You can guess, barely sweatier than me. So I'm like, all right, I guess, I got to leave. I don't want to cause no trouble. And so I go to leave. I turn around, I walk, and I open the door to exit. And I look down. There's a bit long flight of stairs to look out on the street. And I look down, and 1,500 set of eyeballs turn to look up at me. And here I am, this big, sweaty doofus, sweating to death, shirtless, at top of Irving Plaza. And all I could think to do is just wave. I don't know how many of them waved back. Probably not. But then we went next door to the bar, and we were trying to get in, and the guy was like, you can't get in without a shirt.
This was a surprise to you?
Yeah. And I said, look, Joe Strummer's got my shirt. But so we were hemming and hawing, and Andrew, your workmate, he's like, I've got a t-shirt, and he tears off his t-shirt, puts on his button shirt back on. He hands me, this is a glorified sports bra for me because I'm a grown man, I put it on,
Uh-huh.
titties are blazing. It's like a piece
Uh-huh.
of floss wrapped
Uh-huh.
around. And the guy's like,
You mean
the
the
guy looks
nipples?
at me, he
Be
goes,
be specific. You mean the nipples are getting raw from
raw,
the
raw. So
from
the
the
guy looks
tightness?
at me, he looks at me and he's like, you may enter. So I was like, all right.
Uh-huh.
This isn't worse than just being shirtless. Feel like highlighting the breasts is worse, but okay. Hello.
Yeah, sorry. I had an interruption.
Uh,
But so all right. So now you can't get in the bar. You got to
right.
get back to Brooklyn.
I got in the bar fine.
Oh, you got
Pretend
it. Oh, yeah, with the t-shirt. Okay, sorry.
the pretend t-shirt.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that was the night. But
Okay.
like, what other instances of someone telling a story from kind of pre-internet days, and then all of a sudden one day it pops up? Well, I will say one day, like 10 years ago, all of a sudden somebody had sent around a video of my first ever varsity football game
Uh-huh.
from back in the days. You know, you shoot it on a camera. I don't know how that got on the internet. I don't know how that got on video, much less the internet. So that was crazy. But this is bananas. It's a big day for me, Mike.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, stuff will show up. I mean, I think the Class show from the Capitol Theater is out there now to see on YouTube.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, I think Irving Plaza and probably the Capitol Theater in New Jersey, they filmed all those shows. I
Mhm.
mean, there's a Springsteen show from the Capitol Theater in black and white you can find. Everything's
Mhm.
in black and white for some reason. I guess they didn't want to
Yeah.
splurge for color, but there's a lot of stuff from the pre-internet era out there that yeah, you didn't think would surface.
Yeah, they got to, somebody has to make a point of getting all this stuff. Like even Get Back made you think of it, like 60 hours. You know, the days of sitting on it for decades is over. Just get it
Yeah.
out. Get it
And
out there.
everything just streams live. Yeah, it's great, you know?
Stream it. Hey, and you know, if you want to charge people an arm and a leg for it, fine. But the idea of keeping it at this point, stuff like that, come on, knock it off. Just
Yeah.
come on. People want it. Life is short. Give us all the joy that's sitting there in your basement or whatever. Yeah, if you want to charge it, great. But if not, come on now.
Yeah.
So, but that was it's a big moment, and I am.
Yeah, it's very funny, and no, I was glad I got to finally see what it was all about.
But I'm sorry. Speaking of like discovering things in old pictures or whatever, just today I saw somebody had posted a video of London in 1901.
Hmm.
And you're like, wow. Then it dawned on me, I was like, wow, it's possible that somebody could walk across this screen. I think it was like a minute long, whatever this video was, film, who could have been born in the 1700s. And here they are, live, you know, film footage
Uh-huh.
forever.
Well, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
All right. Well, okay.
I don't know where to go with that.
Yeah, I
No,
write
I
that up.
no, I
write
like
that up
old
in a nice email
photos.
and put it out for you.
Yeah, I like old photos too. You know, it's interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's weird because I worry because sometimes when I see an old picture or an old clip, I instinctively go, how are all of these people dead? Like,
Yeah.
literally, is everybody in this picture dead?
Yeah, no, I do that as well. I don't know if
Yeah.
I'm death obsessed or if everybody does that, but I think, you know, it's probably a general thing that people think about. You know,
Yeah.
you see old footage and it's like, yeah, you just assume, okay, these people are all gone,
Yeah.
you know?
But now we have in 2022, I may have just seen video footage of somebody who was born when George Washington was alive.
Hmm.
Crazy.
Yeah, no. But you know, there's paintings, you know, you do not put any faith in paintings.
Well, yeah, those
The
are,
portraits that were done and
but it's
all
not
that.
the exact same as like a live video.
No, of course, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's close. I mean,
Hmm.
and it's the next best thing, obviously, but there's nothing like it's like I don't want to keep going to Get Back, but like when you watch Get Back, and if you've read enough Beatles books, there's some scenes, there's some lines, there's some things they say or whatever. You just read a million times and then when you all of a sudden you see it as they're saying it,
Hmm.
it's just another level of like, oh, wow,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So it's just super cool. Yeah.
Hmm. Are you speaking of super cool?
Oh, my
Are you
ears are burning.
are you watching House of the Dragon?
Is that our Chinese food television
Yes,
show?
it sounds like the name of a Chinese takeout restaurant, but in fact,
Uh,
it's an HBO prequel to Game of Thrones.
oh, right.
Where do you stand on nerd culture?
I have no problem with nerd culture. I never watched Game of Thrones. Are you a big Game of Thrones guy?
Well, here's the thing. I'm trying to understand the culture I'm immersed in. So when
Mm,
something really hits big, I become curious about it.
right.
Whether I think it's something I'll like or not. I feel like I should know what a vast majority of people are into, so I can have a conversation with them.
Hmm.
I was
That's why you're wrong.
formerly a bartender, and people would come in talking about Game of Thrones, and it's like, all right, let me check this thing out. It's also it happens to be in the time slot I'm used to watching television. Sunday nights,
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh,
with
yeah,
The
there's that.
Sopranos,
That I get.
Deadwood,
Yeah.
that was their sort of prime slot. It's probably the only time I still have like, what's on now? Sunday night at 9 o'clock on HBO. I'm curious because they seem to put their best stuff on there.
That's
So
true. Yeah.
so I ended up watching Game of Thrones. So now the prequel is starting, and I watched the first episode. And the thing with Game of Thrones is, and you probably heard about this, you don't even have to watch it. They really load it
With my
up
life,
with they load it up with the gratuitous violence, and there's lots of nude scenes in it. It's kind of like nerdy, but also like they're trying to be sexy and cutting edge. So they have to keep upping the ante with the
Mhm.
violence on the show.
Yeah.
So in this week's episode, there's a scene where these the City Watch, I guess it's like sort of brutal police, sort of take to the streets. They're going to clean up the streets of vermin, and they're
Hmm.
basically just brutalizing
Hmm.
rapists and
Finally.
you
Yeah.
know other criminals. And at
Mhm.
one point, yeah, one guy is singled out as a rapist, and of course they give
Mhm.
him what I call a impromptu street castration.
Ooh.
Right? So it's not enough to show the
Oh.
bare cheeks of the person who's having this operation. They have
Mhm.
to show the outcome. So
Mhm.
there's a shot of, and of course it's not human
Mhm.
viscera, it's not animal viscera. They wouldn't
Mhm.
be able to do that for a television show. It looks like to me the remnants of a chicken parm sandwich that fell on the floor.
Oof.
And
Would you rather eat that or the chow mein?
that's a good question. That's a toss up. So I took a picture of this thing, and then I'm thinking about it. Like, imagine being the prop person,
Mhm.
and you've got to create this massive red blob that they're gonna take a shot of it. It's gonna be in the show. And I'm like, what is it? What did they make it from? It looks like it could be food.
Mhm.
I later thought it looked kind of like an apple turnover with ketchup. If you can imagine that.
I cannot.
It's hard to discern what it is, but I'm suspecting it's some sort of food matter.
Hmm.
And my best guess was, yeah, a chicken parm sandwich, maybe that had been stepped on. Maybe somebody stepped on it to
Mhm.
the degree you can't recognize what it was. But it was
Chicken parm.
curious. It was very curious.
Hmm.
So maybe I'll include a little. I'm not going to force you to watch the show.
Well, thank you. That's nice of you.
I mean, I just watched the Star Wars saga.
All
I
of it?
I watched it from beginning to end. Yeah, I
Well,
saw a couple of the prequels years ago when they came out. I thought they were terrible, but
mhm.
I never saw the third one, Revenge of the Sith. I haven't seen the original three movies since they were in the movie theater. I mean, I enjoyed them when they came out, but I never like went nuts about it like a lot of people. And I watched them again. The first two are still pretty entertaining. I thought, what's the Jedi? What is it? Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi.
That was the third one. and
Mhm.
that's just bad. I mean, I you know, I remembered it not being as good as the first two, but I mean, watching it now, it's like, wow, this is a bad movie. You know, they're just putting all this cutesy stuff with the Ewoks, and they got that long drawn out scene in the beginning with Jabba the Hutt. It's just like interminable. I mean,
She's in a gold bikini, isn't that,
well, yeah, you've got that. You know, gave
right.
threw something to the nerds there. You know, ooh, look at Leia, and she looked great. You know, in that
Mm.
gold futuristic bikini. You
Well,
know,
when you say nerd culture,
yeah.
do nerds like violence and sex?
Well, here's the thing I kept seeing
I say that with all affection, by the way.
with Star Wars. They don't just call it violence. You know how you get the warnings before a movie now?
Uh-huh.
You know, they call it sci-fi violence. And like,
Mhm.
well, what's the difference? I mean, violence is violence, right? But you know, I think sci-fi violence, apparently it's like if you're just shooting at some stormtrooper who's like a maskless, you know, humanoid,
Mhm.
when that person gets shot and killed, it's like it's just sci-fi violence, you know. It's not it's not the
So
same
so
as
what they
you
so what
know,
they so what
Death
they're
Wish,
saying,
you know, when Charles Bronson is
yeah.
shooting people up.
So what they're saying is you're at a movie where you should know nothing is real, but this is extra not real, it being science fiction.
Yeah, I think they're trying to like get around it, how violent some of these things are, because yeah, these stormtroopers by the end of the movie, there's like hundreds, you know, of bodies on the ground.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, it's not Sam Peckinpah. You know, this is for kids.
Are you gonna continue with the Game of Thrones prequel?
Yeah,
I I
I'm gonna.
don't watch it, but I do feel like, sometimes you get a gist of how things are going. I
Mhm.
have picked up a scent online of fans are not thrilled with it. Am I wrong or
No, actually, I mean, I was seeing people going nuts about it. You know, people were they were yeah. I think
oh,
you picked
loving
up
it?
you picked up
Okay,
the general sense that they were people were like prepared to be let down.
right.
So their hopes
Because
were
everybody
like,
was upset about the last season of the
yeah,
prequel, right?
yeah.
Okay.
See, I'm not even like so focused on, you know, I don't go to these Reddit, uh, you
Mhm.
know, Reddit discussions where people go on and on about stuff.
Well, I believe the
So
state has
I'm not
massive.
that immersed in the nerd culture that I'm doing
Yeah.
that. But I'm curious about the stuff itself, the
Yeah.
movies,
I have
because
no interest in
yeah,
any. I've never been a sci-fi guy. Star Wars is about as far as I went when I was a kid. It's just not my thing. I'm all for nerd culture. I'm all for nerds doing their thing.
uh-huh.
I would not have guessed the violence and sex of Game of Thrones is for
Hmm.
nerds, but it probably is. I don't know.
It's
Yeah,
like
I have no interest in watching. So
the biggest thing for me is like what they both share is
mhm.
sword play. People, I I've never seen a sword fight that didn't remind me of every other sword fight I've seen. I mean, you know, in
What about
Star
that time
Wars.
you're in the bathroom at the Charleston? That was pretty rough. That was
Yeah,
brutal.
okay, yeah,
No survivors.
let's not drag it into the gutter. But you know, so you get the sword fights in Game of Thrones, you get lightsaber duels in Star Wars, and they
Mhm.
all look the same to me. I'm like, why aren't people bored by this by now? You know, that's what I don't get.
Well, yeah, if you make it a modern day light fixture that goes, it's more exciting, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I agree. It's all the same. And to your point, and I think I'd heard joke, it's like if he can lift you off your feet with his thoughts, why does he need a sword to fight you or whatever? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, all you know, you got the force, you can just raise your arm and like throw somebody against the wall or choke them out.
yeah.
But no, let's have a little sword duel
The,
instead. You
the,
know, it's like,
the,
what?
the force has some sort of code, some moral code where it's like, I will not get involved with sword play. That is fucked up. That is some fucked up shit. Do it yourself.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I don't know.
It's
But
a
yeah, that's about
mystery.
as deep into that stuff as I go. I would like to give a shout out. I just finished Only Murders in the Building, like
Uh-huh.
everybody. I just wrapped. Did you watch that?
I tried. I mean, I love Martin Short. I love Steve Martin. I wanted to enjoy that, but I don't know. It seems silly to me. I know it's supposed to be silly, but too silly. There
Hmm,
is such a thing as too silly for me.
hmm.
Yeah,
So we love Martin Short. We love Steve Martin.
yeah.
We can't be having the two of them together being silly. Okay.
Too silly. There's a
Send that
difference.
pass. I'm passing
There's a
that.
difference.
Hey, I'm
There is a
passing
limit.
that note along to the network. No problem.
Too
But
silly for
now,
too
let me ask
silly
you
for
this.
Mike Lisk. Yeah.
I don't know if I asked you about this up your neck of the woods. Are you a What We Do in the Shadows fan?
Yeah, I'm not up to date. I got to yeah, you've been really
Yes. So
giving
good.
some glorious reviews to that, and I will get back to it.
This fourth season,
I've enjoyed it. I
amazing.
mean, as you know, Tom Scharpling wrote on
Mhm.
that show the first season.
That's right.
So yeah, I was watching the show, and I think I got through the second season. What is it, up to 3 or 4 now?
They're number 4 now, and I have
Okay.
to say, this fourth season,
Mhm.
in terms of, because it's just pure comedy.
Uh-huh.
I would have to sit and think of a recent season that's been that good in terms of just pure, consistent. Each week, it just tops itself, and it's like it is high tide, peak. It's unbelievable. It's fantastic. I love it. I wish we could find out what Tom wrote, what episode he wrote on, what his thoughts are. I would love it. I just love that show so much. So keep catch up on it.